Guten Tag. It is random vlog time once again. This time, talking about a little programming project that I've been working on over the past few weeks. So, around the previous turn of the month, May and June, I started a little workshop thingamajig doing IT stuff 25 hours a week. And under the tuition offset workshop, I started a learning project of sorts to, in a sense, teach myself more about working with a larger scale project that doesn't just consist of a single script file or source code file. And that project is this. Colette is the name, as you could see. And it's a terminal-based to-do list manager. Runs in the command line, written in Python, and that's pure Python, by the way, with no dependencies other than Python itself. So yeah, been far working on the thing over the past 3-ish weeks. In a largely functional state at this point. Has all of the basic features that I wanted to implement, as well as some extra stuff. And when I say extra stuff, I mean like stuff that I probably was going to implement at some point, but wasn't in like the mandatory features roadmap, if you will. So yeah, that's the GitHub repo of the thing being displayed here on my screen. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna show you the source code structure and the readme real quick. So yeah, here's the top of the readme, explains what Colette is, the mission statement, if you will, some of the features, pure Python, simple but powerful list management, easy storage, usage instructions for building the thing from source, license, and a tiny bit of extra credit. And back to the top of the page, here's the source directory. And here are all of the files containing code that's used by Colette. Not gonna show you the actual source code in this video, but for a quick breakdown of what each of these do, just go in alphabetical order because why not? So the command handler, that contains basically all of the functions called by the different commands in Colette. Ones that handle adding entries to the list, editing, removing, all that stuff. You can sort the to-do list, and you can basically manage your to-do list in a few different ways. And the command handler module contains the code for all of those commands. Date parser handles parsing the dates from the user's input and converting it into a usable date. In case they give a deadline like, for instance, tomorrow or next Friday. So it takes that input, parses it, and converts it into a usable date time value. That's what the date parser does. Due date updater for tasks with like a non-fixed due date, if it's daily, weekly, or monthly. And if the deadline is has passed, it'll update that previous deadline into the next one based on the type. Main handles the main CLI loop, enough said. MISC just contains some miscellaneous variables. Reminder handles printing reminder messages for tasks with approaching due dates. And also tasks with past due dates of the fixed type. Settings, only thing that's doing at the moment is storing the debug mode variable. But I'm most likely gonna expand that at some point to include some additional stuff. Might put the config parser in there. Because yeah, a configuration file support system is something that I'm most likely gonna implement at some point into this. For the configuration nerds. Text colors, enough said. To-do handler handles like the actual to-do list stuff as far as containing the information for the entries, reading the list file into memory, writing into that same file, etc. And finally version, self-explanatory really, contains the version information for the application. And we also have a docs folder, which contains the documentation for the thing. We have like, well, most of the stuff, well, not really most of it, but some. Namely the index, installation, and building pages contain most of the same information that's in the README in the root directory. Technical, that contains some technical information breakdowns. CMD, all of the documentation for the different commands is under that. And then we have some files in the root directory. Git files, editor config, license readme roadmap, and shell scripts. And yeah. So yeah, that's Colette. How it looks from the GitHub repo anyway. So, if you're curious to try Colette out for yourself, do feel free to clone the repo or download the archive of the source code. Read the build instructions, build accordingly, and fuck around with the thing. Platform-wise, Linux is the primary target. Then again, that much probably goes without saying. But it's probably also buildable on Windows through like Cygwin and macOS maybe. Those have been untested though, because I've been developing the thing like on the Linux laptop at the workshop. But either way, that's it for today's random vlog. I will see you in the next one, whenever something inspires me to film one. But yeah, on that note, auf Wiedersehen.